Why do you believe we should support the cause to free Leonard Peltier?
Well, I feel like you should look at the facts of the case and come to your own conclusion. And if you just take your time and really look into the different facts about the case that we're presenting all throughout all these different outreach campaigns through, you know, YouTube, Facebook, all the different outlets, and just take your time to do some background checks on some of these facts, and they will come up. There's a lot of misinformation being put out there by the you know, government and certain retired people of, you know, government agencies who spend their time to create a huge misinformation campaign towards Leonard Peltier and the case and everything that happened. And it's gone on, it's very extensive, and this war Leonard's been in prison for 35 years, but this dates back to over 500 years of invasion by, you know, the colonial empire to completely cause a genocide and massacre of all the natives. And so looking at this case in a historical perspective, it, you know, makes, you know, it seems to line up with all the other, you know, crimes against humanity that the government's committed. But specifically, Leonard Peltier has been in prison for a crime he did not commit, and Leonard has maintained his innocence for over 35 years. He's stayed strong, and he's hanging in there even though right now the government's torturing him. But please, just, you know, there's only one person named Myrtle Porbear who said that she saw Leonard shoot the agents, and Leonard's never even met her in his life. And the government, and this has all been proven in the courts, that she set up Leonard Peltier because she was forced by the government to say that he shot the agents, when in fact they had never met. And if you look at the trial, they didn't even use her testimony because they knew it wasn't credible, and they knew the government had forced it out of her to lie, because they said they were going to threaten her family and her children if she didn't say what they wanted him to. But the government also used this same lady in a completely separate trial and a completely separate incident for a man named Richard Marshall. And he passed away, but he's a former political prisoner who was sent to prison for murder for life based on Myrtle Porbear's testimony. And that's a completely separate incident going on within the same time frame of this whole thing. And so if you go back and look at, you know, Richard Marshall's trial and look at the testimony of who said Myrtle Porbear, and also look at the trial of Leonard Peltier, it's going to come up again, you know. So we can never forget about people like Richard Marshall who've gone through the system and they've not had justice. So we're trying to make that not happen to Leonard Peltier. So there's just so many outrageous facts about this case. If you just take a time to look at In the Spirit of Crazy Horse or Agents of Repression, and the books. In the Spirit of Crazy Horse was fought for 8 years to keep being kept off the shelves because of all the damaging information it has towards the government. People who are in power right now, people who are involved in this, who have turned into governors, and basically, you know, it's a whole cover-up of the Reign of Terror, the case of Leonard Peltier, and don't forget about Joe Stunts, because Joe Stunts was murdered the same day as those agents, but by the government, by a sniper, and his death has never been even been investigated to this day. So it just shows the hypocrisy and, you know, the contradictions that that are being swept under the rug, that are being left as some sort of conspiracy theory or someone's paranoid delusions, when people are misinformed and don't have the truth and the facts because the media outlets don't really present it. But there's places like Russia Today and other outlets that are spreading the truth, so please try to do research for those, to find those, and just keep educating yourselves however possible, and look at the misinformation campaign put on by the government. AmericanIndiaMafia.com has a whole bunch of propaganda set up to completely discredit Leonard Peltier, and they know the movement's so strong, and the government has gone to the lengths that they've never gone through in the history, specifically the FBI. When Leonard Peltier was up for clemency in 1999, Bill Clinton was considering a pardon, but the FBI protested for the first time in their history to say Leonard Peltier should be in prison. They took out $1 million ad campaign and said he was a murderer on the back of the Washington Post and took up the whole page, and about 500 of them came out and protested for the first time in their FBI's history for anything they've ever come out and assembled in public to take it, you know, to say. And you know, it's just completely, you know, messed up, sad situation. We're trying to get the word out through hip hop, balance it out. You know, the artists, some of the artists are just about this money, these producers, and we're trying to change the game, getting organizers involved in these projects, and getting speakers to speak about issues. And we'll mix it up with the hip hop and keep the beats, you know, banging, and do the best we can to see freedom for Leonard Peltier and all colonized, oppressed people throughout the world. You know, free Leonard Peltier. Yeah, we just got it.